For those who are new to the channel, my name's Rex, and of course by the title we're going to be talking about the mods that I've done to the MR2 over the past year and a bit of ownership. In other words, we're going to be talking about how much money I've spent on this damn car. So pretty simple, we're going to start off with the engine, then move right around to the exterior, then talk about the interior. Now this video is not going to be too lengthy because I haven't really done that much to the MR2, surprisingly, because I've owned it for a year, so you know, you'd expect me to do a lot more, but yeah, just a little bitch. Oh come on, so many cars in this damn street, come on. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So just a thing that you want to keep in mind when I'm talking about these modifications is that I've actually documented 99% of them on my channel. So if you haven't seen anything to do with my car, like installing coilovers, you know, fixing the fog lights and stuff, be sure to check out my channel. I've got pretty much everything I've done on the car over there, so check it out. So let's kick it off. Enough of me rambling. Let's talk about engine modifications. Disclaimer. Personally, I haven't done any, but let's talk about what's actually there and what was there before I bought the car. The previous owner must have put like a K&N intake on, because when I took it apart, there was a pod filter sitting where the stock airbox should be. I was extremely happy when I found out this thing had a pod filter, because having a pod filter makes the car sound really good. Like, I've already put one on the Camry, as most of you already know, and having a pod filter changes the whole entire sound of the car. And you know what? Having a good sounding car makes the car more enjoyable, more fun to drive, gets more attention. That's because of the intake sucking in all that air for that combustion, you know, Now the next mod that I've done is, I guess, not really an engine mod, but I've painted the strut tower brace. Now I've done this both to the front and the rear. I've painted the strut braces red, you know, obviously to match the black and red theme of the car, along with the calipers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you really want to count that as a modification, but I have done that and it looks really good. So besides engine mods, a little bit of maintenance has been done. I've put a new clutch in, an XCD clutch, if that's how you say it. I only really needed that clutch because when I first got this car, I actually had never driven a manual car before. Well, I hadn't properly learned in one, so I kind of fucked my clutch by dropping it every now and then to get those wheels spinning. Not a very smart idea. Don't suggest it at all. So let's talk about the exterior of the car now. Now it's pretty obvious, I've installed D2 racing coilovers on the car. The car sits very low. It's a little bit annoying to drive, I will admit that, but it handles amazingly. So I've installed some D2 racing coilovers. These were supplied by Fix, I believe. I'll leave that in the description below. You can actually go pick yourself up some coilovers down in the area of Melbourne. I highly recommend these coilovers. The only thing that I don't like about them is that they don't come with the preload already set, but other than that, they handle really well. They have 20 levels of dampening adjustment, 30 levels, I'm not too sure, but they've got plenty of room for adjustment. They go up and down, obviously, like all coilovers should, and the ride quality isn't that bad. Obviously, having a lowered car comes with its problems. You know, I try to get up some driveway sometimes and all I hear is my front lip scraping. We'll talk about that in a sec. It does make it difficult, but it's a sacrifice for good performance, good handling performance at least. So let's talk about that AeroWear lip, which is my second mod. I'm not gonna lie, it made it harder to drive than installing the coilovers, because this lip scrapes on everything. You can't see it, but underneath it is scraped to shit. It's not that bad. Like, I mean, it's flexible, it's polyurethane, so it flexes and everything, so I don't really care about it scraping on anything. I mean, it looks so damn good. I remember Adam LZ watching one of his videos. Is like, you know, having a lowered car is like when a girl puts on makeup and high heels. It's not convenient, but it looks good. The AeroWear lip looks good, but it's not convenient. Some other mods include front and rear sway bar, white line sway bar. Now these I do highly recommend. Sway bars make a huge difference in a car, and you think they wouldn't make much of a difference just being like two bars that you stick in the front and the rear, but surprisingly what it actually does is it stiffens up the chassis of your car, so when you go around a corner, your car doesn't really flex with the road, so you get better cornering, you get better feel. It's just a really good mod. I do actually also have all these white line stickers all over my car as well, because they did help me out and they did supply these sway bars at a discounted price. But surprisingly enough, I already had a sway bar on my Camry before I got sponsored by them, so I can recommend them. You know, first-hand experience, not biased. White Line does a very good job of making sway bars. Highly recommend them. Go check them out. Next, was a mod that I didn't do, of course, like the intake. So the previous owner must have bought these wheels. They're Keishi Tsuchiya wheels. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if you don't know Keishi Tsuchiya, then you're not a car person. It's as simple as that. He is the DK. He is the Drift King. I mean, what else needs to be said? What else needs to be said? Now these wheels personally, I reckon look really good. I didn't buy them, which I'm happy about. Apparently they're rare, and I did fuck them up when I was trying to paint them. I reckon they look really good on the car as is. Along with these Keishi Tsuchiya wheels, I have some RE003s on the front, RE003 Bridgestone tires, and Yokohama 8008Rs on the rear. 8008Rs are a really crappy tire in the wet. Like, they're not that bad. I might be just talking a little bit of shit on them because I have Michelin Part Sport 4s in the Camry. In the wet, not too good, but in the dry, crisp. You can feel fucking everything. It doesn't slip. Oh, it's good, especially when they warm up. One thing with these tires is that you gotta warm them up before you get the full potential, the full handling. So next mod, I've done an exhaust. I found this exhaust for $60 off some dudes selling it far away from where I live. And yes, they do pass the fizz test. And it is probably the best sounding exhaust on an MR2 that I've ever heard. An NA exhaust that I've ever heard, because I've never actually seen an MR2 turbo, believe it or not. This exhaust for $60, this muffler, 60 bucks, 60 bucks, right? An incredible steal, and probably the best purchase I've made on the car. Now, like I said with the intake, the pod filter, having a good sounding car makes all the difference in the driving ability. Well, not really that, but just the driving experience. So when I floor my car, I get an amazing sound, and it just makes you want to drive it harder, drive it a little bit quicker, and it's exhilarating. I love it. $60 for that kind of enjoyment is extremely lucky, and I love it. Having exhaust is the best. And that pretty much concludes the exterior modifications that I've done with my car. Now let's move on to the interior. Very minimal stuff. Interior. I've installed a Bluetooth Sony head unit that connects to my phone and plays music perfectly, seamlessly. Everything you can imagine with a Bluetooth head unit. It also includes like a microphone, so I can chat to people when they give me a call. I can just click a button, and then pretty standard stuff, I guess. Everyone's like pretty much first mod. And the interior, I've also installed a C's short shifter from Superclass, or however you say it. This C's short shifter was again one of the best mods that I've done to the car, because having a good shifter really affects how you drive the car. With shorter throws of the shifter, it just makes it quicker. You can shift quicker. Like, it's pretty common sense, right? It definitely feels better than what it used to be like. It used to be like, you know, like that. It was like, and it wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't good. So with this C short shifter, it really changed how the car felt, and I highly recommend you getting one for your MR2. Last but not least, let's talk about the final mod. I've installed a Viper alarm system on this MR2. This is because I don't want this car getting stolen. I don't want to have to worry about it when I park it at work. I don't drive to work anyway, but I don't want to have to be worrying about this car. So it comes with an immobilizer. It's a two-way remote, so if anything happens to the car, it actually vibrates in my pocket from a very far, long range. So if you're planning to steal my car, please don't, because you won't be able to. You'll probably find a way, but please don't. But yeah, that pretty much concludes everything. I'm gonna say one last thing that we're gonna talk about is the future mods that I wanna get done on this car. Now, you guys already know that I've purchased some Grady side skirts for the MR2. I'm still waiting on these. I've been predicted, well, it's been said that they're gonna come in around 3 to 4 weeks time, even though I ordered them around 12 weeks ago. It's definitely gonna be worth it. Also wanna do an engine swap. Pretty big on every MR2 owner. You know, a 4-cylinder doesn't really cut it, especially naturally aspirated, but that's why we're gonna upgrade to a V6. Not too sure what V6 yet, but we still need to sort things out. Definitely this year we're going to be planning something big. I guess that pretty much concludes everything. That sums up everything that I want to talk about. I'm just going to mention again that we might have some sick merch coming out soon. Said that for the past like 3 videos. Other than that, I don't know if you've noticed this street that I'm in, but we're sitting in the heart of Brighton, one of the nice areas in Australia. The expensive areas that I am not welcome in. There's cars everywhere. But yeah, guys, I'd like to say a massive thank you if you sat through this whole video of me rambling about things that I've done to the car. If you want to see everything that I've done on the MR2, please go check out my channel. Like I said before at the start of the video, I've pretty much documented everything I've done with this car. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Alright guys, check this out. So this was how I was filming today's video. Nice. Nice.